All right, YouTube, it's Mr. Mean coming at you live. I can say that now from very sunny Duluth, Minnesota. I have made the move, as any of you who have watched my video last time know. It was awesome. We had literally no problems as far as the drive up here and everything. But I think I covered that in my last video, and I know it's been a bit. Videos are few and far between due to lack of work and just time constraints and everything. It's crazy. We're getting stuff set up. My buddy is letting me live in his house, me, my wife, and my son, with him and his wife. It's awesome. It's a beautiful house. It's like 108 years old. I mean, everything up here in Duluth is just super cool. There's a Skyline Drive for those of you that don't know. If you ever come to Duluth, do yourself a favor and hit that Skyline Drive. The view over Lake Superior is amazing. It's really cool to see. So anyway, today's video du jour, believe it or not, I got a goodie in the mail. I got a box, dun, dun, dun. And it was funny because I got the email from Studio 2 Publishing, and it didn't say Studio 2. It just said shipping or something like that. And I didn't know what it was. I was like, what the? I didn't know what was coming or anything. So I was like, wow, okay, cool. I'll just wait. And I knew it was a Kickstarter of some kind because it said, your Kickstarter order is being fulfilled, but I had no idea what it was. And so I was, hey, Tom, what's going on, brother? It's my friend Tom, the other Mr. Mean. We refer to him as Grumpy Cat. Tom is my brother from another mother. We have a very similar outlook on life, and I am proud to call him friend. So thanks for tuning in there, Tom. I'm glad to see you online there. Glad you're watching. So today's video du jour is the Aventuria Kickstarter rewards for the Adventure Compendium, and we're just going to go over the stuff that came in the Kickstarter. I pledged at the basic level. I think it was like 50, 60 bucks. And that got me the physical book and then all the add-ons. I didn't pay for anything extra. And so we're just going to go through the box here and kind of show everybody what we got. I'm not going to open everything because my living arrangements here are temporary and I don't want tons of stuff all over the house because I'm living in a bedroom and I don't have a lot of spare room. So the first thing out of the box is the card pack. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but this is the Aventuria Compendium card pack, 174 cards. And this is General, Fate Point, and Combat. This set contains cards for every special ability introduced in the Aventuria Compendium. Additional cards summarize new advantages, disadvantages, focus rules, and useful tables so you can spend more time playing the game. Adventure awaits. Now, I've been dealing with Ulysses Spiel since they got big in America. I backed their Torg Kickstarter. Don't ask Tom about Torg because he'll say nothing but horrible things about Ulysses Spiel. Love you, Tom. But I was like the 8th or 9th backer for Torg when it went live. I backed it at the I can't talk. I backed it at the, oh my God, I'm stupid level of $220. But I got a lot of cool shit. And then I realized I'm moving. I'm never going to really play this game again with anybody. So that was kind of stupid. But it came with some cool stuff. And I'm glad I got it. It looks nice on my shelf with my collection of RPGs once I get in my house. But I've been a huge fan of The Dark Eye for years. And the first edition, which was the second edition to be published in the US, I believe, if I'm wrong, correct me in the notes below. This will be up on YouTube later for anybody else to watch, and I'll post it in all the various sites. But the cool thing is I've been following these guys, and when I did my first review when my channel was young 2 years ago, the guys over at Ulysses Spill sent me a whole bunch of free stuff, which was super cool. They sent me all the basic Kickstarter PDF stuff, and that really just it just grabbed me, and I had to support this game as much as I could. So they're getting ready to do another Kickstarter for I think it's the Magic of Aventuria, which is the continent and everything, and the setting for the game. I'm not working, so if they come out with it anytime soon, I won't be able to back it. But of course, I'll pick up the physical book at my local game store, or I will order it. But anyway, So these are some of the things. This was originally going to be, I think, a 50 or a 60 card pack, and then due to the various stretch goals that got met, they have upped it to 174 cards. So I have to go back and check my reward status and see everything we're supposed to get, because I thought it was going to be different card packs. But I think what they did is they put it all in one box, which is okay. That's 174 cards. They're poker-sized cards. Go back and look at one of my other reviews for the magic cards, the spiritual cards and the liturgies, and you'll see the cards, what they look like. These look exactly the same. Like I said, I don't want to open them because I'm not currently running a game, and I don't want them to go everywhere. So the next thing in the box is, One Death in Grangor. This is an adventure. So you can see the cover. They always do this with their covers. See, it's kind of got a glossy section and a matte section. I think their covers are phenomenal. This was going to be a PDF, but because of all the stretch goals, it got kicked up to a physical backing, which is awesome. And one of the cool things they do that I really like about their adventures is, like D&D adventures, whoever makes them, whether it's WotC or somebody else, they just put for levels 4 through 5 or 4 through 6 or first level adventure. These guys take it a step further. You see this little gray box? The Dark Eye Adventure is for 1 GM and 3 to 5 players who enjoy hard-boiled detective series. It tells you, this little box gives you a little blurb, and this is on the back of every adventure they do, whether it's a PDF and or a physical adventure that you buy in the store. So in this case, it says the genre is a detective story. Prerequisites: interest in criminology and social interaction, a strong right hook when weapons are unavailable, few or no exotic characters. So basically it's telling you exactly what it says. Location, Grangor, which is a location in there, and they've got it highlighted on the little map here in the back so you can see. The date is Efford from 1038 FB. So if you're running a campaign, you know what those dates are. Complexity, player, GM. For a player, it's low. So this is a good adventure for starting players, and for the GM, it's medium. And that's only because this introduces more rules than what's in the core rulebook. So you would need the core rulebook, and you would need the Aventuria Compedium, which is the Kickstarter we just got. So this adventure is made to go with that Compedium, which is super cool. They've already got an adventure out, and it's pretty thick. This is what? How many pages? 64 pages. So a 64-page adventure for new characters ready to go. So that's pretty cool. And suggested character experience level is experienced. Now, that's a misnomer, and I wish it's not fair to the game, because if you're a first-time Dark Eye GM or player and you pick up this adventure and you look at it and you say experience level, experienced, you think, oh, I need to really know this game. No. When you build a character in the Dark Eye, you have different levels of points that you can use to build a character. And experienced is the default level for making characters. And so this doesn't really do it justice. And I don't know how much it would hurt sales or not. I think if you're a decent GM, you're going to kind of look at it and read at it, and you'll figure it out. But for the people that don't know, it's kind of a misnomer. It kind of throws you off a little bit. And then it tells you the useful skills, and they use a set of, I believe, 4 pips. They're red if they're in use. They're black if they're not. So useful social skills, 4 pips. So this is going to be, if you've got that game of players that like to be very interactive socially, this is a good adventure for them. Combat's only got 2 pips out of 4. So there's not a whole lot of combat. And they even tell you in the initial blurb, it's more fisticuffs than it is swords. And then physical skills, 2 blurbs as well. So this is very much a social interaction campaign or adventure. And as always, they are always well laid out. The quality of art in here is phenomenal. It's just, it's very well done. Always. They always do. Look at that. That's really nice. That's actually recycled from their your own choose your own adventure book that they have out, which the name escapes me. So anyway, One Death in Grangor started out as a PDF adventure and has made it as a published full-blown adventure. And you will be able to buy this in stores. So if you missed the Kickstarter, you will be able to buy it. So that's pretty cool. So that's nice. What's the next thing we got? Deluxe character sheet for mundane adventurers. So this was another thing. It started out as it was going to be a PDF. Well, if they hit a stretch goal, they were going to make it as a PDF. And then if they hit the next stretch goal, they were going to make it as a physical product that all backers were going to get. It's going to retail for $10. It's several pages. Also has a nice map in the background that details all the regions, so you can pick where your character is from. And this is a mundane character, so if you're not a spellcaster, this is the character sheet you want. And this is a book. This is not a pack of character sheets. This is a single player portfolio, and you can put all your stuff in there. It's got some rules in it, attributes. It goes over everything. Animal sheets for all your steeds. The little circle up here, if you don't know that, so you can put a drawing in there, or you could cut and snap it out and paste it in there. But yeah, it's a full-blown character sheet with all the information you need. It's very cool. There's even a little diagram where you can mark off all your different armor and everything that your character will have. So super nifty. I'm very happy to see that. Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, we got a big Ziploc bag. I think this is going to have some goodies in it. So like I said, this is all the add-ons or the extras that were opened up during the Kickstarter. So I didn't pay for anything extra. I just paid the, I think, $60 for the book itself, and then all this stuff was opened up as well. One of the cool things that they do with all their Kickstarters is they have the Aventuria Herald. And what is neat about this is it's a newspaper. I want to say they sniped this idea from Warhammer Fantasy, because they used to do that back in the day. But I think, if I remember correctly, Warhammer Fantasy did it inside of their White Dwarf magazine. This is going way back, when White Dwarf was a gaming periodical and not just a miniature showcase magazine like it is now. But I could be wrong. I might be confusing it with something else. But the cool part here is it is a newspaper style. And basically, this is what the players can read. You have to be careful, because I believe there is a section for the GM only. So you just have to tell your players, don't look at this part. It's for the GM only. But, I mean, look, there's a huge black and white map in there. I mean, and it's literally real thin. It's like almost like newspaper. It's got a nice little gloss to it, and it's made. And this is just actual fiction from the game world. And what you can do with it is you can compose stories and adventures, and it usually ties in with whatever their current book is. So like this one most likely is going to have stuff in it from the Compedium. So it's going to have some useful stuff in there. So I've already mangled it because, well, Mr. Mean is a klutz. I'm trying to get it back together. But anyway, so that's that. So that's the Herald. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so no. This is, players are free to read this, players and GMs. This is open to anyone. Yes, Tom, I agree. They need to do that map for Torg, the newspaper thing for Torg. I think that would be super cool. This is the GM sheet. Comes with every Aventuria Herald, the newspaper. And this is the GM part. So this is, and you can see it says GM. So this, and they give you a little timeline. So it goes with each newspaper. So, and we got two. So we got number 8, I think, and number 9. They number them kind of differently. I think this one is Herald 181. And let's see what this one is, because I got 2. This is 180. So yeah, and so here's another one. Same thing. It's just a newspaper. You can pass it out to your players. You can let everybody look. Looks like somebody jumped on as watching as well. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Say something in the chat, because it doesn't tell me who's actually signed in. The other thing we got is, this is cool. These are just PDFs of punch outs, or they're just, it's a solid sheet of paper of their NPCs, but there's a front and a back, and they're trifold. So you don't even need to put them on bases. You just glue them together on the tab there, and it creates a little triangle, but you can see it all the way around. So you don't need to put it on a base. So if you don't want to go out and buy miniatures, or you don't want to use your D&D pre-plastic miniatures or whatever, Cybrim, this is Joe, first time live. Hey, Joe, welcome aboard, buddy. Glad you're tuning in. Hope you enjoy the ride. This is for Ulysses Spiel's North America, The Dark Eye, which is one of my favorite RPGs. It's Kickstarter that just came in for those that are just tuning in. We're just going through the contents of everything I got. So these are cutouts. So obviously, you can cut these out, glue them together, and you'll be good to go. and they're in paper. You could photocopy them if you needed extras. But the cool part is they went one step further, and they gave us some in heavy card. Now these you will need a base for them. They're singular, but like, look, there's a wild horse. So Cyber M1 sounds like Kai. If you say so, sir. I go by Gideon, and I spell it funky, so I can't pick on anybody's name. These are the standout punch outs. These you'd put in a little slot of base or whatever, and you could use them. So it's pretty cool. And they're just basic. We got all kinds of things. Herizian Explorer, the female. We got a Daijin Busker, and a Thorwallian Smith. So all kinds of cool stuff. Just little things for the GM to use. Players could even pick one. So the next thing in the box, let's see what we got left here. We got 2 things. All righty. Okay. So this is cool. I'm happy. Kai says, I bought the original English edition thanks to your recommendation. Kai, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It is one of my favorite games. It's very European. A lot of people don't like the fact of rolling a bunch, 3 dice to do a skill task, but I feel combat in this game goes just as smoothly as it does in D&D or any other game. Skills, I think, are very rewarding when you roll those 3 dice. It really builds up the anticipation to see whether you succeed or you fail. And then, of course, your levels of success and everything is I just think it's a cool system. So the next book, this was also my friend Tom says, GURPS uses 3 dice too. Yeah, but GURPS uses 6-siders, and nobody likes gaming with 6-siders. They're lame. I'm just kidding. Actually, the Dark Eye uses 6-siders for damage. So, hey. The Aventuria Armory. Look at this. It's shrink wrapped. It's not even. This is also an upgrade from the Kickstarter. It was going to be a PDF, and then they got all the backing or all the unlocks for stretch goals and turned it into a physical book. So this is all of the current weapons in the game. Let's see, the back here, it says the Aventuria Armory provides an exciting new tools for exploring the any award-winning setting of the Dark Eye. Recommended for 1 GM and 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up. This is going to be a $40 book. It's pretty chunky, decent size. Hardback, as always. All of their books come with a nice ribbon in there to do a bookmark. I dig the art on the cover. The guy's getting fitted for his armor. Looks pretty badass. That's an Aventurian dwarf, by the way. So the Germans' take on dwarves is very similar to us Yanks. So I like it. Let's see here. Kai says Fantasy Age is D6. Life? D6 would have gone extinct without it. Very true, sir. Very true. Or ma'am. I don't know, Kai, if you're a male or a female. I don't want to presume. And I'm actually joking because Fantasy Age is also one of my favorite RPGs. That's such a super easy game to get up and running and playing. And I love GURPS. Me and Thomas, we wane about wax and wane about GURPS all the time. Oh, and Kai says he's a guy. Congratulations, Guy. And then the Crème de la Resistance, the actual book itself. Fantasy Age is awesome, says Tom. Yes, Tom, you're right. We are going to open this one, guys, so you're going to have to bear with me because what's an unboxing if we don't get to look at the pretty stuff? And GURPS is also awesome. We've already said that, Tom. Tom's great to game with because he's slightly older than me, which makes him a crotchety old fart. But if you take too long or you do too much role playing, Tom gets mad and wants to kill stuff because he's really, but yet when I kill the players, he gets mad. I don't get it. You wanted to kill stuff. I just killed you. So there's the killing. You should be happy. I guess you get attached to those silly characters, silly players. Anyway, this is the book. It is, God, it's gorgeous. It has that, I wish I had smell-o-vision. It smells wonderful. 240 pages with a very comprehensive index. So Kai, if you've gotten the other Aventuria books for the Dark Eye, you need to pick this one up, brother, because it's well worth it. Look at that cover. Nice and glossy and matte at the same time. Let's see here. This is just the little blurb on the back. Aventuria is a dangerous place Whether strolling down peaceful sunny streets or leading troops in epic battles, heroes must know how to defend themselves. The Aventuria Compendium presents many new options for combat. Learn powerful fighting styles known only to the best warriors and swordmasters. If you prefer unarmed combat, train in the art of Harazar Ruzat, or learn to take down an enemy with cyclopean wrestling. Cyclops wrestling. That's crazy. This book also includes a wealth of new rules for other professions, tips for using skills and applications, and new focus rules for topics such as hunting, gathering herbs, conducting research, and crafting weapons and armor. Learn new special abilities, study new languages and scripts, and discover new trade secrets for everything from forging paintings to creating horoscopes. Whether your character is a battle-hardened veteran or a new adventurer just starting out on a heroic career, this volume has something for you. So yeah, and one of the things I like about this is the continuity of art that they use. And I have some of the German books as well, which are in German, and they're fantastic. And it makes me really want to learn I should learn my own language because I'm of Germanic. My father is fresh off the boat from Germany. I used to speak it fluently when I was a child. In fact, my mother told me that I failed the first grade because part of graduating from first to second grade was counting to 10, and I couldn't do it. Every time I'd stand up to count, I'd start counting in German. 1, 2, 3. So evidently, I'm a big dummy, but I've forgotten most of my German language. But I would love to learn it again, and I think once I retire, which is hopefully not far away, that is something that I will pick up. I'll maybe take some community classes. Kai said something else here. I'm not ignoring you, Kai. I didn't like the layout for Realms of Tyranoth, though. How's the layout in this one? Kai, you're going to have to expound, maybe chat with me offline later and tell me why you didn't like the layout of Tyranoth, because I dug it. I thought visually that book was beautiful. If you've got the Dark Eye core rule book, then this one it's exactly the same. They're very concise in their layout. Everything is really well done. The art is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing there's some pictures from the inside of the book. I'm just trying to find some good examples. Here's layouts of like some looks like talents and stuff. The book is laid out like all their other books. So yes, sold. Thank you. Good, Kai. Yeah, this one's going to set you back $50. That is the retail price. I think I paid. Obviously I paid $50 because I got this. I believe you were able to get a leatherette cover for $80. I like their covers. So the leatherette cover was, I think, black with gold letters that said the Compedium or just had the Dark Eye logo. Wasn't for me. I like the actual cover, and my books are going to get used. And it may even be down if they offer this in their digest size, which is they've been doing. I was at one of the local game stores in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis last weekend. Super awesome game store there called The Source. If you ever get over to that area, go check it out. They got everything. But I saw that they had the bestiary in digest size. They currently have the core rule book in digest size. And so to see the bestiary and the atlas are also in digest size is really cool. So I have the core rule book, and I'm not sure if I have the bestiary or not, but I plan on picking them up because the digest size is nice to take to game with you. I prefer to game in my house, but I also do a lot of gaming conventions. When I go to the gaming conventions, I don't want to lug 400 pounds worth of books along with me. So it's nice for those digest size because you can open them up and reference them, and they're the full book. They're just reduced in size, so they're totally worth it. So that's everything in the box. Yeah, just make sure. Yeah, there is nothing extra. So this is everything. And of course, like I said, it's gorgeous. There's a little part on the back there. But what I was saying earlier, and I sidetracked, the one thing I like about is the continuity of their style and concept of art. So here's the Aventuria Compendium. Does this guy look familiar? Does he look familiar? Because he should. Because this guy is that guy putting the armor on. So I think that's really cool. This dwarf is a dwarf that's in the player's book. So And yes, Kai, 2 bookmarks, a red and a yellow. You can see them right there. And most of their core books have 2 bookmarks. Their splat books or their extra books only have 1. This one has a blue bookmark. So there was supposed to be some other stuff that I thought got physically done. I thought there was supposed to be the Magic, a teaser for Magic and a teaser for something else. I don't remember what it was. And I thought those got done. They were supposed to be, they were upgraded via the stretch goals to physical product, or maybe it's only PDF. I have not received all the PDF rewards yet. Maybe I have and I don't know. I'll go back and look. But it's pretty neat. Like I said, that's for $60, I believe, is what I backed for the Kickstarter. I got some bang because these cards are handy. If you don't have Kai, I don't know if you're going to be the GM or not. I highly recommend, if you're the GM, to go get their cards. Magic's not a. This is a high Magic. It's a. How do I put it? It's high Magic, low yield. That's a good way to put it. This is not the kind of game where you're going to fling fireballs and set enemies on fire. What you will do, though, is when that charging black pelt, which is what they call orcs, when that charging orc is coming at you with his rapier or his cleaver, the spells in this game take a while to cast because Magic is very powerful. Instead of firing a firebolt, there's no way you could do it in this game. What you would do is you would do a small spell where you would put his hair on fire. Oh, and by the way, orcs in this game are covered in fur. So if you set him on fire, it's really going to take his attention off of skewering you and trying to put the fire out on his body. And that's how they recommend you go about Magic. It's pretty cool. It's not for everybody. Role-playing games are like, cars. Some people like their cars. Some people don't. Hey, Craig Martin from New Zealand. Righteous, dude. Oh, he's saying thanks for the job. Good luck with the job hunt. Thank you, Craig. I'm hoping too, man. I'm telling you. I can't resist it, guys. I'm going to open it. The plastic was peeled. It was coming off. So I'm a bad person. I'm weak. It's all your guys' fault. Oh, well, there's shrink wrapped on the inside. Look at this. Look at a chunk of cards, man. Look at that. So, and we got the wrestling there. See, I can't get the glare out of there. So, and then chariot modifiers. You want to do your race scenes? Cinderash style, passive, combat style, and agriculture. So again, these are skill cards and everything. These are really handy to have at the table for your NPCs and or the player characters. Usually they'll give you 2 or 3 of each card. I don't know about this set because like I said, I haven't ripped it open. But like the magic cards, the spell cards, they give you a couple copies and everything, and they're very handy. Kai, I was mentioning Kai. If you're going to be running the game, these things are super awesome to have because they make so you don't have to flip the book open, especially to look up a spell. Really cool for your players. If you're going to run a long-term campaign, I would recommend if one of the players is playing one of the wizards or whatever, they go out and get their own pack of cards, and it's pretty decent bang for the buck. So that is everything that comes in the Aventuria Compendium. Like I said, this adds much more options for skills and combat. Then we have the armory, which goes over all the weapons and everything. So this is super cool stuff. The art, as always, is fantastic in here. I mean, here's a bar fight. Look at that. That's righteous. You can't beat that with a stick. Layout of the book, I think, is fantastic. There's breaking that fourth wall. They're playing a game of playing a game. Maybe they watched a little Deadpool. Very well laid out, very concise, very comprehensive index in the back, so you can see it's very well spelled out. I haven't really had a problem with any of their books in trying to find stuff or information, even the little digest size books, because they are literally laid out the same way as the hardback books. They're just a quarter of half the size or roughly whatever, and very neat. So anybody in the chat, Thomas, you're supposed to be working, dude. But anybody have any questions or anything they want to know specific about the books that hopefully I can answer? We'll open up the chat. Page count, 2 bookmarks. Page count. Which book, Kai? Which book? The well, you're gonna force me to open it up. All right. Well, for you, Kai, I'll do that. Since you did buy the other books on my recommendation, I kind of owe it that much to you. There's 240 pages on the core book, I believe. Let's double check. Yes, 240 pages. That includes the index. So the last four pages are indexed. On the Armory, let's rip it open. Thomas wants to know, is this high fantasy or more sword and sorcery? Thomas, it can be whatever you want. If you go with the default setting, it's more, I would say, mid to low fantasy. There are crazy creatures in it, like Forgotten Realms or Faerun. I would say more like Faerun. There's orcs and goblins and monsters. The bestiary has a bunch of cool monsters in it. They take a different view on dragons in the Germanic role-playing game. Dragons in the Dark Eye are not nice. There is no such thing as the good dragons and the bad. They are all bad. Yeah, Kai says Faerun is Forgotten Realms. True. Yeah, Forgotten Realms is the name of the setting. Faerun is the name of the world, or the main. Is it the main continent? I don't remember. I don't play that much D&D. Although I am starting a D&D campaign next Thursday at my local game store, only because I can't get everyone to get on board with these other games. Page count here, Kai, on the Armory book is 159. The backside of page 160 is an ad for their card game, which, if you've never played it, is really good. I would say more like Hyboria, like Conan. Kai says, after 4th, I dropped. Yeah, 4th was an abomination, and we will not talk about it. 5th edition is okay. It's fun. It's easy to run. But if I was to have my druthers, I would either run this or I would run probably Fantasy Age. As much as I like Savage Worlds, I think I would run Fantasy Age as my default fantasy, or even Dragon Age, which is the same rule. Fantasy Age came from Dragon Age. So 160 pages for the Armory, 240 for the 240, did I say, or 260? 260. 240. I stand corrected. 240 pages. Thomas is a big 13th Age fan. I'm not. I think it's cool. I just don't like how they do skills. It's not my cup of tea. I think for the GM, it's a fantastic game because it's very easy to run, and I like that. Yeah, I'm in on that. Kai has mentioned the Legends of the Five Rings beta is on open beta right now, is on Fantasy Flight. I was actually part of the closed beta group for that, Kai, and I did not like where they were going with the game mechanics. I was not a huge fan of 4th edition L5R. My favorite is 2nd edition. I'm a little biased because John Wick was my roommate for a while, and we had extensive conversations about Legends of the Five Rings, and my opinions kind of mirror his. I really like L5R. It is one of my favorite Oriental type fantasy settings. I love the game mechanics of 2nd edition. 4th edition is okay, but they made it a little too crunchy for me, and I like simple rules mechanics. And if you've run L5R, or if you've run the Dark Eye yet, at first it appears to be very crunchy with your margins of, or your levels of success and your levels of failure. But it is not as crunchy as you think. It starts getting really smooth, and that's what I like about it. And you're rolling 3 dice. You can even do color-coded dice on the color-printed character sheets. There's a color wheel and everything, and it's pretty good. Yes, Kai, I bought the 2nd edition book, the 1st edition books twice, because we were in a campaign way back in the day with my good friend Brian, and they fell apart because we played with them so much. So I had to buy them a second time, and I think I have just about everything for 2nd edition L5R. I have quite a bit of stuff for the 4th edition as well. That's just because I'm a collector. But anything else anybody wants to know about the Dark Eye? Kind of a low magic setting. Doesn't have to be. It's just that magic is played differently than what you think of magic in traditional North American RPG terms where, we're slinging fireballs and we're putting up magic barriers. Magic in the Dark Eye is more subtle. It's more manipulative. Um, you know, it's not made to blast giant fireballs, but in the same aspect, it is just as powerful. It just takes more work. And if can I host an online session? No, because I'm not in my own house right now, and B, I don't have access to all my books. I do have all the books on PDF, but I like a physical book when I'm running a game. I know the game pretty well, and I feel comfortable running it out of my head, but not well enough to help people make characters because I don't have access to physical books except for PDFs, and I hate reading PDFs on screen. I'm old and grumpy, and my eyes are bad. So one day, probably, but not anytime soon. I do have a Fantasy Grounds license, and so I could definitely host it on there as well. But I would say get with your local gaming community, Kai, and see if anybody's interested. Thomas says he's the same way with PDFs. I do. I enjoy my PDF collection because if you want to look something up real quick, it's great. It's phenomenal. You want to look up, you can, if it's indexed, you can type a keyword and search for it and find it relatively quick. But my eyes reading on a computer screen, and since I work in computers on a day-to-day basis, the last thing I want to do is come home and fart around on a computer. And Thomas is absolutely right. It's nice to be able to print a section from a PDF that you need for GMing. I'm going to do that with my D&D game because all I have access to right now is physically is the player's handbook and a GM screen. My monster manual and my DMG are in storage, and I'm not going to dig through that giant storage box to try and find 2 books in 28, 29 boxes of gaming books. It's just not going to happen. So I will use the PDFs to make that out and make that work in the short term because I'm not going to rebuy them. Monster manuals are fine in PDF. Yes, they are. They totally work. So any more questions about the Dark Eye, guys? We lost a viewer somewhere. I would imagine it was probably the gentleman from New Zealand. Copy and paste monsters I'm using in Word and print them out. Yep. I actually just I use Foxit as my PDF reader, and I know Adobe will allow you to do it too. But I just highlight the section I want to print. And I just right click and choose print, and it'll print it out on a sheet of paper right out of Foxit, so I don't have to futz with it. If I'm getting elaborate and I need a bunch of monsters, then I will do the cut and paste to Word. But for the most part, I don't mind. I don't have my own laser printer right now. It's in storage, and it's a color. I only have access to a black and white right now, and it works great. It's a Brother as well, but it's not my printer, and I don't want to eat up my buddy's ink and everything. Yeah. So Kai, what I was trying to say earlier is get with your local gaming group. If you bought the book, if you have the core book, that is really all you need. There is a section of monsters in the core rule book that would be more than enough to get you up and running. The other cool thing is most of the adventures, if they speak to a monster or something in it, they'll provide the stats for it. So try your local gaming group, see if you can get a couple people interested in it, or even reach out to Ulysses Spiel North America and say, hey, I'm going to be running a demo. Is there anything you can provide, PDFs or whatever? And they might send you some free stuff, man. And it might be, can you send me an adventure or two, or do you have an intro adventure? I know when Ulysses Spiel first broke into the U.S. about 3 years ago, they had, when you bought the core rule book, you got a very entry-level adventure called The Witch's Hunt, which is actually a really good adventure. I ran my players through it, and they really enjoyed it. It was very well written, easy to run, and had a little bit of combat, had a little bit of social interaction, had a little bit of skill use in it. It's a really good adventure, and I believe you can download that off of Drive-Thru RPG for free. I think The Witch's Hunt is free on Drive-Thru RPG. So it looks like we lost a couple other people. We're down to one person. I'm assuming that's me, or I lost my internet, one of the two. Nope, my internet is still active, so it's not me. So we are running on 40 minutes here. I think we have done everything. It doesn't seem that anybody... Thomas says he's still there. So there's one person. So we lost Kai. So Thomas, unless you've got any other questions about the Dark Eye, I think you may even have the book. I don't know. Uh, I'm not sure if it was one you picked up or not. I'm your one viewer. Yes, Tom, you are my one true love. Thank you, Tom. So you miss my grinning face. You don't have it. Well, I recommend you get it, Tom. It's a really good book. I'm not buying any more Torg stuff just because Torg doesn't do it for me. I enjoy playing it. I'll never run it, and I have everything I need at this point for Torg if I ever did decide to run it. But the Dark Eye is near and dear to my heart, and I will support it as much as I can um, when I'm able to. And I do love the game. So, and Tom says he's run a couple of games of Torg. The players love it. Yeah, I love playing it. I don't have a problem playing it. I like the use of the cards. For those of you that don't know, that are going to be watching this, so I'll keep buying their crap, I guess. You're so nice, Tom. So yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We're going on over 40 minutes. This will be posted up on YouTube for everybody to watch later. This is Mr. Mean saying thanks for watching, everybody who tuned in. And oh, someone else came back. So we got 2 viewers now. You're late to the party, sir or ma'am. We're wrapping it up, but thanks for checking it out. And this will be up on YouTube on my channel, and I'll post it to all the various links. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody. And, give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends to like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. I want to keep the channel going. Ulysses Spill has been a great company, at least for me. They've listened to all my feedback, and they've taken my comments into concern. Like I said, they sent me a bunch of free stuff when I first started doing my channel. This is one of the first games I reviewed, so they're near and dear to my heart. I like their products. I like the presentation of their products. I like the quality of their products. I haven't had one of these books fall apart on me yet, so I enjoy them quite a bit. So I think that's it for Mr. Mean today. I will be doing another review. I got the new Dungeon Masters Reincarnated jam screen. I'll be doing a review of this probably over the weekend or Monday afternoon. So anyway, I just wanted to say peace and hair grease. And as always, be nice.